Hiya, in this video I'm going to show you how to fit these Jass Performance tow hooks to your Mark II MX5. So starting with the front, you need to gain access to the inner arch line panel. So there's 3 clips along the side, so you need to remove those first. I've replaced one of them already, so they may typically look like that with the Phillips screwdriver attachment. So let's go ahead and remove those and repeat for the other side. Next, 3 8mm bolts. So there's one on the edge, one slightly further down, and one just tucked behind, and that will then release the arch liner from the bumper itself. So just need to repeat that on the other side. So next is the bolt that holds the corner of the bumper to the wing. So just behind the upper arch liner, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but just here where my finger is, there's an 8mm bolt. So both of those need to be undone. With this 8mm screw now removed, the corner of the bumper will now pull away. So next up is to open the bonnet and remove the bolts from the top. So under the bonnet on top there's 4 10mm bolts that need to be removed. So next up there's 3 plastic trim rivets. So there'll be one underneath this cover, one in the center, and then one on there. And then there's also the same above. These ones are exposed, so they'll look like that. So that's a Phillips screwdriver attachment, so they shouldn't take much to remove. So the upper ones, there's 2 of these screw type clips. You'll notice that after a couple of turns of the screw, that this flat piece, almost like a washer, will start to turn. So you just need to hold this while undoing the screw. The lower ones are just pop-off caps. So they're not actually screws underneath, they are a plastic trim clip. I did accidentally break the center one, but that's just to hold the bumper to the plastic air dam, I think that's what you'd call it, behind the radiator, or behind the bumper for the radiator. So yeah, I don't think it's going to go far. So with the top bolts now removed, if we just lift out the corner, and then the bumper should come off. So to gain access to the original tow hook, so looking at the driver's side, just below the headlight, you can see the tow hook there. There's 2 bolts. I think there should have been 2 bolts at the top, but mine's only got 1. I'm not too sure if that's a bolt hole or not. And then there's 2 slightly lower down. So to gain a little bit more access to these lower bolts, there's normally a nut here, but mine's missing. And that looks like a 10mm. And then that should just drop this air dam guide for the radiator down enough to gain access to these bolts. I'll grab a bigger ratchet and I'll spray these with some plus gas. So there's a couple more of these larger Phillips screwdriver trim clips holding the top of the air dam, or whatever it may be called, in. And I had a aftermarket grill fitted, and they ended up snapping the bolts despite using little pressure. So moving on round to the tow hook. So these are a 14mm. So with those removed, I'm just going to clean up this area with a wire brush. And I have been poking around the area, knowing that the chassis leg rails can be bad, and that's what I found. So I knew this was going to be needing to be done at some point. So yeah, another job to add to the list of things to do. So I know a very good welder who'll be able to sort that out for me. So yeah, at least I kind of know the extent of the damage. Obviously, well, damage, I mean rust. Obviously this bracket here needs to be removed still to see what's behind it. But yeah, I'll get done. So this is the new Jass Performance one. I went with the red powder coat rather than black or silver or polished, I think he offers. Mainly to go with the red theme of the rocker cover. So hopefully add a little bit of colour to the exterior. I think it should work with the blue of the car. So yeah, luckily he includes new hardware. So let's get this bolted up and get this bumper back on. So that's the new tow hook now bolted up. And there we go. Obviously look a lot better with the bumper back on. So yeah, let's finish this job and move on to the rear. So the bumper refitting is just the reversal. So the air dam behind the bumper for the radiator, which is the black plastic bit there. The 3 8mm bolts at the bottom. The 8mm in the corner. And then the 4 10mm along the top. So yeah, that's the tow hook now fitted. Very happy with how it's turned out. It doesn't stick out of the bumper, and it's going to be functional for future track days. So let's move on to the rear one. So this is the rear tow hook. These don't require anything to be removed. It just slides on over the existing tow hook. So rather than facing downwards, they'll actually be horizontal like that. So for this one, the tow hook's on the, well, you can have it either left or right. To be fair, there is one either side, but I'll fit it on passenger side just so then it's not too close to the exhaust tip. So yeah, it just slides on over the top, bolt goes through the middle to clamp it down, and that's about it really. So I'm gonna wire brush this just to clean up a bit and then bolt it on. So there we go, that's the tow hook now installed. So the flat piece slides up first, and that's what helps butt up against the box section on the car. And then there's just a 17mm head nut and bolt to fix it. And there we have it. So yeah, the red probably isn't for everyone, but I think it's just enough. The calipers will eventually go red when I do the brakes, so that's all tie in from there. But yeah, very happy with the overall fitment and the product. So shout out to Jass for another awesome product. And yeah, hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.